Hello, my name is Dante Renee, and welcome to the 10 Room Bizarro YouTube page where I talk about films that I believe need to be talked about more. Like tonight's film, this is 1988's Party Line. 1988's Party Line, and this is put out by Vinegar Syndrome. Here are a couple shots from the film, and I never heard of this movie before, never saw, this is actually the original cover here, never saw the cover at my local video store when I was a teenager, never heard of this one. When they announced it, when it was announced that it was being released, had no idea what it was. Party Line is from 1988. It is directed by William Webb, and it stars a few people, including Leif Garrett. Yes. Now, I mostly know Leif Garrett, I believe, from the film Cheerleader Camp, but here he's playing a role around the same time frame. And we have some people in this film from movies like Devil Times 5, Baywatch, Shaft, and Battlestar Galactica. So let's get into this movie here. This is something very, very interesting, unique, and twisted at the same time. Look at that font right there. That font's in the trailer. And this is a very rare movie. I mean, when you look it up on YouTube, you can barely find a trailer. I think there's a VHS trailer, and you'll find some like VHS clips. But the fact that it has been transferred from the negative, and I never really talk about transfers, but oh my gosh, this is like one of the best I've ever seen. Party Line, 1988. So we're in the late 80s here, and there's definitely a strong vibe in this 90-minute film of the 90s also. And so it's the type of film where we're reaching kind of that line between the 80s and the 90s. And so it's an 80s, 90s kind of film to me. It really has that late night cable vibe to me. As it's even mentioned on the back of the box, you know, the vibe of, you know, Cinemax or Showtime late at night. And so it has that vibe, without a doubt, and I love that vibe. It's late night, reminds me of sleepovers, parents are asleep, you're sneaking in a movie when you shouldn't be, a movie you shouldn't be watching. Party Line has incest. It has pedophilia. It has babysitter fetishes. It has, well, party lines. Party lines, the sex talk lines. You know, party lines were different. They were the 976 numbers. They were different than the 1-900 numbers. The 1-900 numbers, you were talking, you know, paying by the minute and talking to somebody who was acting, basically. Whereas the party lines were, you know, basically picking up the phone and talking to your peers. And maybe meeting up somewhere and talking to a bunch of people and narrowing in on one particular person and having sex talk with them on the phone, or meeting with them, you know, somewhere else to have sex with. I mean, this is before the internet. This is before chat rooms. These were the chat rooms. In this film, we also have a slasher vibe. We have murders. We have a very strong sleaziness to this film. We have family issues in this film. Well, I mentioned incest, so I guess that also includes family issues. We have the Oedipus complex. We have cop drama, cop romance, and probably one of the wildest police officers I've ever seen. We have a mystery being unraveled in the film. The viewer knows the answer to the mystery, but we are watching other people trying to come to terms with the answers to that mystery. We also have cross-dressing in the film, and underage girls in the movie as well, in situations, let's just say in 2019, you would never see in that particular way. Party Line has some unbelievable cinematography in this movie, and you can see it beautifully with a great transfer like this. Party Line There's these great reflection shots, great shots of candles, great shots with fog, great shots with neon lighting, and kind of windows and people peering, walking by them. This amazing dance club with all the lights and the music and the live bands. There's an amazing shot of an indoor pool near the climax of the film. Expensive cars, luxurious, expensive home, an expensive piano, a variety. We have two worlds here. We're spending time with the killer's world, but we're also spending time with the good guys world, the police world in this film. So we even have the theme of police brutality in this film as well, because, as I mentioned, one of the wildest police officers I've ever seen. So really something pretty crazy in here, and it's almost hilarious at times. The film flirts just in tiny, almost unnoticeable bits as well, with some humor, but noticeable in the fact that it's fun. So in a film that's dark, disturbing, and really deviant and twisted sexually and sleazy as hell, it also has a little fun in it as well, which is represented in the babysitter world. Party Line has a variety of worlds in it to explore and to be a part of. We have the underage girls, which almost gives it like this Goonies vibe or something, meeting the cop world and meeting the killer world, and then meeting this whole other sleazy world of the Party Line, and there's also this other kind of side world of the babysitter parents. So we have a lot of stuff going on here, and it's all sleazy. It's all late night. It's all lush, luxurious, expensive. It's all here. This movie's score is very complex and very rich. It's awesome, and it reflects the film very, very well. The score has a strong saxophone bass to it. It's my favorite instrument. A really strong core of saxophone, which really represents that late night cable vibe, sleaze, sex, but then intertwined with a dark, creepy score that's also kind of darkly dramatic also, and then at times flirts with like a music box, and so you're mixing those worlds together of the dark, atmospheric, synth piano vibes and saxophone music, like jazz, and then we also have great 80s pop dance music in this film as well at the club. The club is a kind of one of the focal points of the film. And so we have these worlds together, 80s and 90s, with the music as well. And there's lots and lots of score in here. We have great twists and turns that move the film. It's a film that is equal parts horror and sleaze and thriller, like 90s thriller. It's all mixing those worlds together with a cop drama as well. So Party Line, really, really unique movie. You do get topless nudity in the film. You get some panty shots, some lingerie. You're going to notice some faces in here as well, possibly. We have some, again, storyline-wise, a lot of sexual deviancy in here, and also some deviancy in here in ways that I don't think I've ever seen before in a movie, and that in ways that would definitely not be repeated in our modern era. So much applause to 1988's Party Line right here, folks. And it just has such a great vibe in terms of, the fact that it's called Party Line, a sex chat line, which is something that's not really around anymore. You can pick up an adult magazine from back in the day and all those ads that were in them. You try calling one of them, they don't exist anymore. There's something else now. And so this movie is also a beautiful snapshot of an era. It's a beautiful snapshot of a time. So while the movie has a late night cable vibe to it, it's also dealing with a title, with a theme, with a topic that was inherently late night as well, which was the ads for party lines on television, on late night television. So there you have it, folks. 1988's Party Line. I love it. Thank you so much for watching the 10 Room Bizarro YouTube page, where I talk about films that I believe need to be talked about more, like the incestuous Party Line. Please feel free to check out my own personal films at youtube.com/poopy diarrhea. That's POOPY diarrhea. Thank you so much, and good night.